Buckley, Commissioner Gallagher,
Here.
Commissioner Cater.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Okay, and there's the agenda on the meeting today. So, Mark, you wanna kick it off? How you wanna do this?
However you want me to do it.
Let's kick it off, let's go.
I think, you all have been talking about this for a long time, and so now we're finally at the, 10-yard line, I guess, of passing the order to implement the partial property tax abatement for Bismarck Granules. And,
Okay,
this,
hold on a second, I'm sorry. We're recording this, right?
Yes.
Would you?
you wanna come to Mike?
Yeah, because if somebody
Yeah,
else stops
sorry,
it,
thank you.
the first thing they'll do, well, I couldn't even hear him or understand it. What do you-
Okay,
So,
okay.
Mark, lead off with your name and introduction.
I'll do that, and then I'll kind of provide some background for those who don't know.
Thank
I
you.
haven't been living with this for 2 years.
Thank you very much.
So I'm Mark Grimm with Gilmore and Bell, and we do municipal bond work, and we're representing the county on this bond issue. We've been working with the county's counselor, Travis Elliott, of course, on this project. So the county has agreed to provide partial real and personal property abatement to Bismarck Granules to incentivize the company to build the project and create the jobs. And so this order that is before you today approves a number of documents to implement this. And we're using a process under Chapter 100 of the Missouri statutes, commonly referred to as Chapter 100 bonds, authorizes the issuance of industrial revenue bonds to finance projects. Now, these bonds are not like bonds that the county might issue for a courthouse or jail, or school district might issue for new jail facilities. These bonds are really to facilitate the tax incentives. The county, there's no money changing hands as part of the transaction. The county has no liability as part of the transaction. Even if the company were to go bankrupt or go out of business, the county has no liability whatsoever. We've done hundreds of these transactions around the state. Our firm has done many of these transactions. I've mentioned to you all before, some of them around Madrid County, Cade County, Scott County, just working my way up from the boot heel, St. Louis County, St. Louis City, Marion County, Lincoln County. You get the idea. There's been a lot of these deals done around the state. No county, no city has ever incurred any liability. But documents have very broad indemnity provisions to ensure that doesn't happen. So essentially, the structure of the transaction is the county takes title to the project during the tax abatement period and leases the property to the company. And when the tax abatement period ends, the title transfers back to the company. And in the meantime, the company will make payments in lieu of taxes, basically partial property tax payments to the county that get distributed to all the taxing districts proportionately, just like normal tax payments. So this
How's that amount established?
That was established through negotiation between the county and the company.
Okay. In the past or in the future?
Well, so the documents, set out, here's the percentage of normal taxes that the company will pay during each year. So the property will be assessed just like it would normally be assessed, but instead of paying 100% taxes, the company pays a percentage, pays partial property tax payments.
as the negotiations is taking months, of course, we're giving out more taxes than we'll want to, because the schools, the other entities are adversely affected when the tax rates are lowered. But in order to get things done and bring jobs and development to the area, I'm sure it's your company would like to have less even than what we've agreed to. But so we've tried to walk the fine line and negotiate something that's good for the county, Bismarck, the school district, long term when we have more people, but yet still enable the company to come and be profitable.
There would be no growth if we didn't do this.
That's correct.
And I should point out that the jobs are critical to this. The documents have a provision that requires a company to create at least 46 jobs. I think the current expectation is 53 jobs, but requires a minimum of at least 47 jobs, 46 jobs, I can't remember which it is. For each job below that, they get less tax abatement. So they pay more payments in lieu of taxes for each job below the threshold. So if the jobs aren't created, then the company doesn't get the incentives.
If they exceed that employment amount, do they get more abatement?
No,
Okay.
no.
That's nice.
That's-
Gotcha, awesome.
Okay, let me ask you this question. There's another company that's looking to do a very similar project close to that. So if that goes through, do they have to, if they get any abatements at all, they'd have to come and issue bonds also?
Yeah,
separately?
so every project stands on its own, and we get the question frequently about what precedent does this set? And I guess that's just a policy question for the county commission ultimately, you know, so my typical answer is, well, you know, maybe it sets a precedent, but if the precedent is for a $50 million investment that creates 50 jobs, that's not a bad precedent.
Like
you know?
about 10 of those projects.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, but if you've got a $1 million investment with one job, is the county going to do the same thing? Probably not. So I think most counties and cities would evaluate it on a case-by-case basis and say, what is the impact on this from a job creation and capital investment standpoint?
Okay, in my mind, the reason we're doing this is because this is a coloring plant. And that other entity you're talking about is not a coloring plant as far as I know. So there's a difference in the setup on
And no, like you said, that's case by case basis, and that's why we have done this. And if the next case comes through, and like you said, yeah, that's awesome. Now if they're a coloring plant, we look at them maybe different. Maybe they're gonna color too. We don't.
Years
You're
ago,
right.
when we did these we didn't have any guarantees for the most part. But when we started doing like Clay Como with Ford and things, we had to have so many jobs. It had to be withheld so that there were some guarantees because you had places like, this was before I was mayor, but Huffy Bicycle that had incentives, and the day that the incentives went off, they left the country and left us holding the rest of the stuff. So that now it's usually predicated upon so many jobs being created and maintained and that.
That's an excellent point, because you're right. Your memory is, you've been around a long time like I have, and back.
You saying I'm old?
No,
Is that-
no,
is
sir.
that-
But back
you
in,
are.
but back in the day, it used to be that cities, counties, everybody was concerned about the capital investment, and so there were a lot of these deals done 25 years ago that now every single deal almost has a jobs requirement, because capital investment's great, but what we really want is jobs.
Yeah, that's right. Which helps Bismarck immensely, hopefully. It's awesome. What else we got?
No, so you've got before you this order, and this order authorizes all the documents that I described, and so the plan is that after you all pass the order, we'll sign the documents. The documents are out to the company for execution, and then we'll wrap up the transaction next week. And I guess I should say that as part of the document, the company pays for our fees, reimburses the county for Mr. Elliott's legal fees, so the county is not out any costs for implementing this.
Okay, let's get our motion, and then we'll open
Yes.
it up to the school. and
Before you
see.
do the motion, let me make one comment
Okay.
for that. Commissioner Buckley has worked on this project
Mhm.
Yes.
as well. He is having surgery this morning.
Yeah.
So we had to have this at this time, and we knew we had a quorum, and he's all in support. He wanted me to let everybody know he's total support of it. He wanted to go forward, but he is under the knife right now. So,
Try to
I think
save-
the frontal lobotomy will be successful,
Yeah.
but, no.
It's plastic
Get sold.
surgery, it's major.
Yeah.
Try to say it's shoulder surgery
Shoulder
twice. Okay, now,
Well,
motion.
I will make a motion that we accept the ordinance presented presented to us.
Okay, and I second that. Now, does the city or Bismarck or the school or anybody want to comment? Have questions? Anybody else?
I'm from Bismarck School District Superintendent Dr. Michael Sylvie. We just appreciate the agreement that's being made and any help that we will be able to do more things for our students. And so
Yes.
we're very appreciative of the deal that's being made in lieu of what's happening right here. So thank you very much.
Seth, anything?
Absolutely. We appreciate what the county's done. It's been a long road to come to this point. We think that this is gonna be a big boom for Bismarck. Everybody knows we're gonna be supplying the energy to IKO. We've been working with the school, we've been working with the county, and we have a great relationship with IKO. They're a very good company. We really enjoy working with them. I think that they're gonna be a great asset to our city. It's gonna be a big boom on that end of the county especially. It's gonna be a big asset to that end of the county especially. Definitely worth good paying jobs in an area that doesn't have that ability down there. They're gonna be obviously Bismarck, this is gonna be a game changer for Bismarck in the long runs. This is gonna open up several different avenues, and without the support of the county and Kevin and everybody, this wasn't gonna happen. We appreciate the school as well, because the school is taking a bite into this as well, like all of us, during the term of the abatement. But this is gonna be a game changer again for the city. That's just gonna be phenomenal, because our little city, is like with every little city around in the area, struggles as rates and different things and prices of everything goes up. As we sell this energy with them and we work with them, it's just gonna be a great thing as far as the value of the city. It's gonna help us be able to advance the city and bring more things to the city, more applicable for different grants, and do many, many things. And if we didn't get this abatement, of course, like I believe Harold said earlier, if we weren't able to do this, there may have been large potential for no growth. So sometimes you got a wheel and deal, and like I said, it's been a several-year project. Bismarck's really working on it. We've got our gas line we're down to the construction point now. We got the geotechnical. We appreciate the county for sure working us with the easements on getting that through to get that down to this facility. And if it wasn't a team effort, it would have never happened.
We need to mention Dale Wright and Mike Henderson.
Absolutely, yep, I was headed that way.
Yeah.
In the governor's office, Dale Wright has been phenomenal, and of course Mike Henderson, and Elaine Gannon too.
Elaine.
And Elaine has been
Bismarck girl.
phenomenal. Governor-elect Kehoe, he came down to the facility. He actually went down there and we got to speak with the Canadian group. And again, it is gonna be a vital asset. All products that are being made out of this facility is gonna stay in the United States. It's not going back to Canada, because they're gonna they have several large companies that these granules are gonna actually go in and make shingles, not at that plant, but they will go get colored there and go to the different facilities in the United States. So it's gonna be a great international relationship. I don't think many towns our size get the chance to do this international relationship. And again, we appreciate everybody that has come out in support of this. And again, it wouldn't be a team effort, and most definitely, I'd like to appreciate everybody for prayers, because we've had all of our churches in town praying for us, and without the help of God, this never would have went through. And that's my personal opinion, but the good Lord's blessing the city, and He's blessing that whole area.
Got to put that rock there too.
Absolutely.
And I also want to reiterate the thank you to Mike, Dale, Elaine. I do want you to know that we sit here as a commission and we look at the county as a whole, but we also say, look what look good for Bismarck. Look at the school, and I know, and I'll come out and say this. Harold and I, and even Kerry, we get him on board, and our first thought was, how are we going to be able to take care of who needs to be taken care of, like the school district? And we've
My heart's in
his
Bismarck.
heart's in Bismarck. My heart's in this area of Bismarck and all, because I'm a representative of the whole this side of the county, right? So I just want to thank everybody. I'm looking forward to the partnerships with IKO. They've stepped up and have said there's some future endeavors they'd like to get in with some of and I'm just whatever with the school district or with the city or even with the county as partnerships to beyond what we're talking about, jobs and stuff. So thank goodness it's bringing the jobs. You know, look at the close proximity on Mountain Lake, that they need a little help in their area. So IKO has stepped up big time, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate everything that's come out of it. I know we have to play the different sides sometimes, and you fight for what you believe, and so did they, and we've made this agreement, and I think it's a good one.
For the record, been several references to IKO. IKO is the parent company of Bismarck Granules. They're Canadian-based, and that needs to be in the record. Okay.
One other part. We bring this up because a lot of people watch this, and when the media can't be here, they watch to get the information. So I want to make 2 points. One, we did due diligence and looked at the company. The company's been a good corporate citizen in other places in the country. That's why I think they will be very helpful to particularly the school district. You're always looking for sponsor this and sponsor that, and they do that in other places. The other thing I was wanting to point to ask you, we at one time we talked about the average salary, including management, and I thought you might have that information so that the media might be able to relate that to the people.
Yes, sir. So as Mark said earlier, there's a total of 53 jobs that are new jobs expected to be made. 4 are already in existence. And the average wage of all 53 jobs is just about $64,000 per year.
$64,000 average job, and that's not the management that's already in place, which is
Correct.
exceeding that. So it will actually be over 65 when you factor those in, 1,000 jobs. So over 50 jobs at an average salary over $65,000 a year is a pretty good little clip.
That's huge for Bismarck.
Our area, that's, yes, that's awesome.
The other plant that they talk about is just close to our county line with Iron County, and it's by the Middlebrook quarry, and they're moving back this way just enough to be in our county. And they will produce granules, and as far as I know, they're not a coloring plant. And the rock we have is very special for that purpose. Okay, rhyolite's the name of the rock. Any other comments? Questions? I think it's time for a vote. All in favor of authorizing this issue of bonds, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Call vote.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Cater?
Aye.
Okay, with that being the end of the meeting, as far as I know, I need a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn. We would like you guys to stay over for a picture if you guys would.
I second that. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're out of here.
Seth wore a tie, and I think Seth would
Seth
like a
cleans
picture.
up good.
He would like a picture. Look at
Get
that.
a picture with you guys so I can get it over to Bismarck. Appreciate it.